What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is St. Patrick's Day, and I thought to celebrate the occasion, it would be a good idea to review a couple different St. Paddy's Day inspired beers, so to speak, at least to me. And earlier today, I posted the first one, which was Guinness's Foreign Extra Stout, which is, spoilers, quite tasty. And now I am reviewing a beer from the Great Lakes Brewing Company, and they're out of Cleveland, Ohio, and it's their Conway's Irish Ale. So this is an Irish red ale that comes in at 6.3% alcohol by volume, 25 IBUs, and at the time of review, I don't know exactly how old this bottle is, but it does have a best by date of March 18th, 2020, and at the time of review, we're about a week away from the best by date, so we're coming in right under the gun, but it should be fresh enough. Anyway, full disclosure, I've had this one before, but it's been like 5 or 6 years since I've had it. I just haven't picked it up in a long time, and it's an Irish red ale that I remember enjoying. Now, I don't, drink a lot of Irish reds, but I remember as far as like, American brewed ones, this one was definitely up there with one of my favorites for sure. So thought I would, revisit it here for St. Paddy's Day and, have a good time, hopefully. Anyway, let's pour this into a glass, hashtag proper glassware, and get onto it. Yeah, so that's definitely pouring out like an Irish red. No doubt. All right, we'll just go like that. You know what? F it. We'll pour it all in. Why not? It's a big enough glass. This is a 12-ounce bottle, so we should be fine. Okay, so this pours out like a typical Irish red. Yeah, it has like this copperish, reddish kind of color to it. Filtered about a half finger of this very lightly tanned head that's somewhat creamy looking, but that looks like a nice Irish red to me. Let's get a nose. Yeah, so it smells like an Irish red, Very heavy malt. There's a lot of caramel. There's a lot of like bready kind of characteristics to it. There's a lightly toasted malt kind of character as well. There's also this slight earthy, almost spicy kind of hop note. Not really big, but definitely there. Maybe like a light cherry note as well from the malt. Tinges of toffee as well. Yeah, here's the thing with Irish reds. To me, they're not super complex. They're not really meant to be. 3 or 4 different characters. It smells pretty good. It smells sweet, which a lot of Irish reds are. They typically have a lower bitterness, at least the ones I've had. And yeah, this smells kind of right in the realm of what I expect this beer to smell like. So let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, it's nice. Very nice beer. Body on this one's actually nice. It's like straight up medium, maybe a touch over medium. Has a little bit of thickness behind it for a 6.3% beer, which is really appreciated, at least by me. The mouthfeel, it's crisp, but a really nice soft smoothness to it. Really smooth and easy to drink. That's the best thing about this one and kind of what Irish reds are made for. This is a drinking beer, and I say that a lot, but there's a reason why these come in 6-packs. They're under 10 bucks. You can buy them. You can drink them over the course of the evening. You'll be feeling good, but they'll be so easy to put down. The flavors, the nose kind of follows over to a T. A lot of caramel, malt at the forefront. There's caramel. There's lightly toasted, like white bread. There's toasted malt characteristics, a little bit of toffee. Really sweet up front. Past through a palate, I'm getting this slight like apple, like red apple core, ever so slight in the middle of the palate, which is, I mean, I don't know if it's typical for the style, but it's definitely here in this one. It's not off-putting or anything. It's not like a sour apple. This isn't like infected or you're turning or anything. It's just a red apple core. Second half of the palate where the bitterness creeps in, but this has a mild to moderate bitterness, closer to mild. Just has a little bit of bitterness. There's a touch of earthiness, almost a floral aspect. I wasn't getting the nose. I was getting more of like a spiciness, more floral on the taste. This finish is semi-dry, decent residual sweetness. These are sweeter, but they're not cloying or anything. Like I said, I could drink easily 2, 3, 4 bottles of this, and the sweetness would not become a problem whatsoever for me. You can't taste the alcohol. There's no alcohol assurance. I'm not getting any warming in the chest. 6.3% hidden quite well. Yeah, it's a good beer. Here's the thing. Irish reds, not my favorite style. Like I said at the beginning, I don't drink a ton of them, and I don't buy a lot of them because I don't clamor for them. It's not a beer that like I'm seeking out. But every time I have one, I'm reminded, man, if it's a well-made one, they're pretty good. So I'm going to give this 2 ratings. I'm going to give it a rating within the style, the Irish red style, and a rating for this beer, Conway's Irish Ale from Great Lakes, within the style. I'm going to say like a high 4.25 out of 5. I'm going to go like 4.35 out of 5 for the style. Really well made. One of the better American brewed versions I've had before. I mean, I haven't had a ton of American brewed Irish Reds, but this is definitely up there with some of the best that I've had. Now, as far as personal rating, go one more sip. I'm debating between a high 3.75 or a low 4. Yeah, I think personal rating, I can give this a high 3.75 out of 5. I'm going to go 3.85 out of 5. It's a well-made, tasty Irish Red Ale. Great Lakes does an amazing job, in my opinion, with some of the classic old school styles. They just, a lot of their beers, their core range is older styles that if you got into craft beer over the last couple of years, you might not appreciate these ones, because these are like a lot of Great Lakes beers are what I grew up with in craft beer. And I've only been drinking craft beer for 10 years, not a long time. There's a lot of people who've been drinking it for 20, 30, 40 years. But when I first got into craft beer, Great Lakes was one of those breweries that was reasonably priced and readily available here in the West New York area, or not readily available, but definitely available. And I would seek out their stuff, and I would, pick their stuff up as part of mixed 6-packs. I would even buy some 4 and 6 packs of their beers. And the one thing I can say about them, maybe their beers aren't the most amazing, mind-blowing beers, crazy shit, whatever, but they do classic styles extremely well. And this is a perfect example. So 3.85 out of 5 for this beer as far as my personal score goes, and we'll say a 4.3 out of 5 for the style. If you've had this one before, definitely let me know what you think about it, because I'm sure quite a few people have had this one, especially if you're in the Midwest or on the East Coast or Mid-Atlantic area. Price and availability, wherever you see Great Lakes, you should see this one certainly in the late winter, early fall, around this time. And price point, $8.99 a 6-pack for that beer in my area. So that's a great deal for a well-made beer. So once again, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review. Hopefully you're enjoying your St. Paddy's Day. Again, the coronavirus, going nuts, and a lot of St. Paddy's Day celebrations and whatnot were shut down today. So if that's the case in your area, hopefully you're at least drinking some good beer and maybe watching my review. Who knows? Anyway, appreciate it. To the next one. Cheers.